I've had a couple people want me to give like a little breakdown of the pay and expenses and things like that. So y'all stay tuned and we'll get into it. What's going on, guys? Back today, and we're headed up here to Elkhart, Indiana. So today is the 20th of December, and this is not going to be a RV transport trip, so I'll do that in a separate video. But I've had a couple of subscribers leave me a comment and want me to do like a video of like the breakdown and the pay and expenses and things like that. They said that seems like nobody is they see a lot of people's coming back, but they don't see nobody doing any breakdowns like they used to. So I'm gonna try my best. Just keep in mind, guys, that everything changes, and as far as rates and things like that, fuel prices, they're always just back and forth. But as far as rates go, yes, they still suck. They're not as good as what they was. Why? I have no idea, other than everybody else is wanting to line their pockets. So, and people like us that basically keep them in business, well, we're on the back burner, I guess you could say. But I guess that's all business, ain't it? So, but anyway, like I said, prices and everything, rates, all that stuff can change. They usually, whenever they change, like if they cut the rates or they raise the rates, usually for the most part it's usually within about a 5-cent increment. So if they cut them, they usually cut them about 5 cents. When they raise them, they'll probably raise them about 5 cents. So hold on, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I had a phone call, so anyway, where was I at? Yeah, as far as the rates, I mean, they go up 5 cents, they go down 5 cents. As of right now, the unit I'm going up here and getting, it's a 39-foot Alpine fifth wheel. I prefer fifth wheels, and to be quite honest with you, I actually get better fuel mileage pulling not a heavy fifth wheel, but I mean, I can pull a heavier fifth wheel than I can a lighter travel trailer and get better fuel mileage. But this one right here at the time is paying about $1.50. Yes, I know that everybody's gonna be saying that's low, and I agree with you. People's going to be saying that there's other companies that pay more. You're right, I agree with you. But things that you have to ask yourself is, like I said in another video, is you got to put everything about each different company in their own little basket, and then dig out each thing, and then what's better for you. So, like I said before, that company I'm with, they pay $1.50 for that load. Company down the road, they may pay $1.60 for that load. obviously that sounds better, right? Wouldn't you agree? Well, you got to take some other things in consideration, guys. Does that company down the road, do they have loads? I don't know. Things that you got to look at for yourself, what's going to benefit you. Do they have loads going in the direction that you want to go, or the direction where you live? Because, say, for me, for an example, I live down in Mississippi. Well, this company over here down the road, the only loads they might have will be going east and west. They may not have anything coming south. So now I can't get back home unless I deadhead, which is going to be for free. So you got to take that under consideration. Other things you got to take under consideration is fuel discount. A lot of people don't think about this. The company I'm with, at certain places, you may get $1 per gallon discount than what's at the pump. So I've seen it to where the price at the pump was $4.20 a gallon, and we was getting it for $2.90. As long as we used our card or dumped out a card and got it there. So guys, I mean, shoot, that was $1.30 per gallon. You figure my tank, I mean, I got a 36-gallon regular tank and a 100-gallon transfer tank. That's 136 gallons. So you take 136, multiply it by $1.30. Guys, that's a lot of savings. Then you take that and figure it up into your rate. So, say the company down the road is paying $1.60, basically 10 cents more than what the company I'm at making. Well, they may only give you like a 20, 30, 40 cent per gallon discount. So time you figure all that stuff up, which one's going to be better? Everybody just seems just to be looking strictly at the rate per mile. And yes, that's important. But like I said, you got to take under consideration all the other things. Fuel discount. How much more fuel discount do they give than this other company? Like I said, guys, in the end, it's probably going to average out about the same. And, I mean, you figure 10 cents difference per mile as far as rate goes, then you figure $1 versus 30, 40 cents per gallon on fuel, then quite honestly, the company that's paying less is probably where you're going to make your most money. So, I don't know about you, but I'd rather pay $2.90 a gallon for fuel versus almost $4. But, and then, like I said, guys, you got to think about loads. I've seen a lot of these companies on Facebook and things like that yeah, they pay more per mile, and they try to get you to come over there. But then I also see comments where they ain't got no freight, they ain't got no loads to be pulled. Well, what good does that big dollar per mile do you if you ain't got anything to pull? Now you're not making no money. Just like driving a big truck. I've seen, and I've done it myself. I mean, I've been out here on these roads for almost 20 years. And I thought, and there'd be times I think the grass is greener on the other side. And back in the day, I mean, some of these trucking companies, you may make 32, 35 cents per mile. That was a long time ago. Then you may see this other company paying, 40 cents a mile, 42 cents a mile. Well, that company was paying 35 cents a mile. Man, you can get all the miles you wanted. And then some. You'll probably be begging them to stop giving you miles. But this company over here paying 40 cents a mile, you may only get 1,500 miles a week. Versus over here at the other one, you may be getting 3,000, 3,500 miles a week. Which one's going to average out better? Would you rather be out there running? Or would you rather be sitting in a truck stop sitting? Because you sitting in a truck stop, not only are you not making money, you spending money. So, like I said, guys, you just got to take all that stuff under consideration. Oh, let's see, what else? Oh, so that goes over the rates. The fuel, that's one of your expenses. So fuel's still high. And like I said, luckily, I'm with a good company that they give a real good discount, fuel discount. So, but fuel is going to be one of your biggest expenses. Depending on your truck and how it's set up, all that stuff, how it's running, all that stuff plays, a big role in how many miles per gallon you're going to get. The more miles per gallon you get, the more money you're going to put in your pocket. Do you have a heavy foot? If you do, I suggest you lighten it. Because I got a heavy foot. And I'll give you an example. Last time, whenever, and like I said, I don't do it all the time, but there's a couple of times that I came up here to Indiana and got one, went back to my home, which is Baldwin, Mississippi. And most of the time, guys, I'd run going up here 70, 75 miles an hour. Coming back, pulling the camper, I'd probably be running 70, 72. Well, and usually I would burn, well, if I filled up both my tanks, 136 gallons, usually that would get me up to Indiana and back, and I'd be empty on both tanks. So, one day I decided that I'm going to run 65 miles an hour up there and back, both ways. And I did. And guys, whenever I got back, my big tank was empty, and I still had between a half and 3/4 of a tank left in my regular tank. So that was roughly about 25 gallons, I guess you could say. So you figure 25 gallons times the price of fuel. So say right now, let's see, let me figure it up. Knowing I shouldn't be doing this while driving. But let's just say 20 gallons. 20 gallons times 3. Guys, that's $60. That's $60 that I just put back in my pocket. All because I lightened up my foot. So, you figure that per trip, guys, that adds up. So, so that's your biggest expense going to be fuel. You might as well figure on an average 40% of your gross is going to go towards fuel. It might be a little bit less, might be a little bit more, but on an average 40%. Other expenses are, you need to be putting back into a maintenance fund or an emergency fund. Because like I've preached on several times, guys, it's not if it's going to happen, it's when. So far, luckily, I've been good. Now, I mean, I've had to have just regular things, you know, had to replace my brakes, had to replace the tires. Whenever I was out of RV transport during that time, I replaced my radiator, replaced the thermostats, replaced the belt, things like that. So just other expenses like that you're gonna have to go through. Oil changes, guys out here putting all these miles on your truck, you're gonna go through more oil changes. Me personally, I do my oil changes whenever I was at home, not doing this, just basic driving around the house, stuff like that. Usually I change my oil about every 5,000 miles. Now, I do it anywhere between 7,500 and 10,000. And the reason for that is because, guys, I mean, you may put that many miles in your truck in a month. So, I mean, you figure 2 trips out to California and back. I mean, that's probably about, what, 8,000 miles for 2 trips. And you figure you do one of those a week. Well, guys, that's 2 weeks. You got to do an oil change. So, and I'm gonna try to do another video, breaking down expenses more as far as how to save money out here on the road. I've done a video before, over a year ago, about starting on a budget. I may do an updated video on that. So y'all stay tuned for some of the stuff. Another one that I saw that gave me an idea is I'm gonna do a video on, because I seen on Facebook on one of the RV transport sites that it was somewhere in their RV transport sites or a hot shot site or something like that, but there was a hot shot guy wanting to know, he was thinking about switching over to doing RVs, and just about every comment in there was telling him no. Well, guys, I've been on both sides, so I'm gonna do a video on that, the pros and cons of each, pros and cons to hot shot, pros and cons to RV transport. Y'all stay tuned for that. Trying to think. As far as other expenses, if you just get started into this, guys, you're gonna have expenses as far as upfront costs to get started, and that goes back to my video of getting started on a budget. Go back and watch it if the new one hadn't come out yet. You've got to have a weight distribution hitch. You've got to have mud flaps. You've got to have rock guard going across the back of your bumper. You've got to have fire extinguisher, triangles, spare fuses, things like that. That right there, for the most part, is all you need to get started in this business. You've got to have a DOT inspection done on your truck every year. But for the most part, that's all you need. The other things like the fifth wheel, the auxiliary tank, things like that, yes, those are really, really nice to have, but you don't need them starting off. After you had your basic stuff, then you wanted to start building up and getting other things. Your very first thing you need to get is your auxiliary tank. That is where it's going to save you money. I guarantee you guys, the money that you save on fuel, to where you don't have to be stopping all the time, or you can plan out where you're going to get fuel where it's going to be the cheapest, rather than having to stop and get fuel because, hey, now you're empty and you ain't got no other place to stop. Because you may be out in California or somewhere where it's $5, $6, $7 a gallon. I don't know. But the money that you invest in an auxiliary tank, guys, I promise you will pay for itself in a month or even less. I promise you. Don't go out here and buy one of these little farm tanks that you see at your local farm store or Tractor Supply or something like that. Those are not DOT approved. You need a DOT approved auxiliary tank. Mine, guys, I had mine sitting around the house. Y'all seen it? It's a big truck tank, 100 gallons round. I had it sitting around the house. So for me, it was free. For you, guys, go to, if you got a big truck junkyard somewhere close to your house, go to it and ask them how much it'll cost for that tank. So buy it, clean it up, clean the inside out real good. Then about the only other thing you have to pay for is fittings, and then make sure that you get the brackets for it. Bolt it down to your bed. Good to go. This has been on my truck for almost 2 years now. I ain't had no issues out of it whatsoever. Next thing I would probably get would be a fifth wheel hitch. Guys, you ain't got to go here and buy no brand new one. They shop around on Facebook Marketplace. The one that I got, there'll be a video coming. I've done an install on it, and there'll be a review video coming out shortly on it. Everybody's been asking me about. So, like on my fifth wheel hitch, guys, that's like a $1,200 hitch. Well, I found it on Facebook Marketplace up in Louisville, Kentucky for $500. And guess what? I was going right through Louisville, going up to Indiana to get a camper. So I didn't have to go out of route, nothing. So I stopped up there, picked it up, and they let this guy out. But so I went up there and picked it up. Guys, that hitch had only been used one time, so it was basically brand new. And I gave $500 for it. So now I got me a hitch, fifth wheel hitch. My mud flaps, my rock guard, guys, I made them myself. My rock guard, I bought the material to make it. I spent like $60, $70 to make my rock guard. Guys, there's no sense. I mean, if you have the money to do it, and if that's what you want, by all means, go do it. But if you're trying to get started in this on a budget, like most people are, guys, don't break yourself. Don't take it. If you have money sitting back in a maintenance fund or an emergency fund, don't go depreciate that account by going up here and trying to fully set up your truck all at once. Don't do it. Because what's going to happen is you're going to go up here, you're going to fully set up your truck, fifth wheel hitch, auxiliary tank, every single thing you need to do this business, and you're going to end up spending $4,000 or $5,000. Well, what happens whenever you leave on that very first trip and then something happens to your truck and you break down? Now you don't have any money because you just blew it all on some of the things that you didn't really need at the time. Think about that, guys. But like I said, I will try to do more updated videos of getting started on the budget, expenses. I'm going to try to do one on taxes, how to, what you can claim and all that stuff on your taxes. Because that's another big expense, guys, is taxes at the end of the year. You got to pay your own taxes doing this. Well, a lot of people don't think about all the different deductions that you can deduct doing this business. Fuel is being the biggest expense. You sit out here and you make $100,000 gross doing pulling campers. Well, guys, like I said, 40% of that is going to go towards fuel. So that's automatically that brought your gross of that, say $100,000. Now that just brought your gross down, or your what do you call it? Your adjusted gross income. That just brought it down to what, 60,000? So now, instead of paying taxes on 100,000, you're just paying taxes on 60,000. Well, now you got other things that you can deduct, which, like I said, I'll get into another video on that. And guys, you can deduct it down to where you may have made $100,000, but at the end you may show that you only made 100,000. I mean, like 1,000 or 2,000. Or just getting started in this, you may be in the hole where you didn't make anything. It doesn't necessarily mean you didn't make anything. It's just the way that you showed it. And if you do it right, there's legal ways to do it. The biggest thing is don't try to do it yourself. Go find you a good CPA attorney, one that knows the trucking industry, one that does bigger businesses. Don't go to H&R Block. Don't go to, what's that other one, Hewitt or something. Don't go to them. Go to an actual CPA attorney that does this, the trucking industry, transportation for a living. Let's see here. What was the other question he asked? Tracker. Since I've been gone, whenever I came back, they started putting trackers on the campers because they was having too many coming up stolen. So, for the most part, yes, just about all the campers have trackers on them. And whenever you pick up the camper, there'll be a little tracking box in the camper with your paperwork. Whenever you get done, whenever you deliver the camper, you take that tracker, and then whenever you come back up here to Indiana again, then you turn it in, and then in the next camper there'll be another one. Some campers don't have them in them. Maybe they ran out or whatever. I've pulled, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I've pulled about 4 or 5 campers since I've been back, and I think only 1 or 2 of them had a tracker in them. So not all of them do, but for the most part, yes, they got a tracker. And I'll go ahead and throw this in there too, because somebody I think has asked before about logs. We do use Keep Trucking, Motive, whatever you want to call it. We do use that. It is not tied into the truck. It's basically just like a paper log. We're just doing it on Keep Trucking out. And the reason for that is because RVs are exempt from it. And how that is the research that I've done and the way that I understand it is because the camper itself is the commodity. As long as one axle of the commodity is touching the ground, then you are exempt from e-logs. Now if you was to do haul and tow or multi-haul, well, now you're putting that commodity onto another trailer, and so therefore now that commodity is not touching the ground, so now you have to run e-logs. But as far as tow away, single pulls, you're exempt. Let's see here, we got something going on up here where I got to turn. Maybe I can make my turn. I don't know if I got it shut down or what. We'll find out here in just a second. But guys, for the most part, I mean, that's pretty much all it is. The see, rates, expenses, tracker. I see what it is. We got a big old oversized load. Looks like a big one. I was thinking about getting into that one time, doing the pilot escort thing, but there's just not a lot of it around in my area. Now if I was up here on 40 or somewhere, then yeah, but where I live, there's not a lot of it. So I could go and stay up somewhere and probably make some money, but hopefully we can get around him before we get in this little narrower spot. I try to let y'all see what kind of oversized it is before I cut this video off, but as far as the video itself, as far as rates, expenses, stuff like that, that's pretty much it. Let's see here. I think I'm fixing to get stuck behind him. Yep, just ran out of room. So we gotta go through this little section, and we got cars coming by trying to squeeze in, and not like they can't see all these yellow lights up here. So anyway, I'm gonna pause this real quick, and whenever I get up here and go around this oversized load, I'll cut it back on just a second and let y'all see what I'm stuck behind. Alright. That's what I'm stuck behind, guys. Coming around it. I almost forgot to cut it back on record. Maybe y'all saw some of it. But anyway. But I'm gonna go ahead and get off here, and the gentleman that or lady, I don't forgot, who asked that question about breaking everything down, I hope this helped you. I hope to help somebody else out. Guys, if you have any other expenses or anything like that maybe I failed to mention, leave in the comment, because I'm sure I forgot something. I'm just trying to do this off the top of my head. So guys, if y'all don't mind, y'all hit that like, share, subscribe button. It really helps me out, and still trying to grow my channel, get bigger, and we'll get back with y'all on the next one. So as always, y'all be safe. Semper Fi.